Hello friends! Thanks for joining me for week 5. How crazy! We are halfway through our 10 weeks already. Today, as promised, we will tackle the subject of food. So have you heard of the Quarantine 15? It's a throwback to the old freshman 15 that some of us enjoyed our first year of college. Basically, we were out on our own and we had lost our ever-loving minds and our parents were not there to rein us in. So we ate and drank our way to a plus 15 pound, relatively portly physique, right? But seriously, we just can't blame college and we can't blame COVID. For decades, food and weight have been on the minds of so many Americans. In 2017, Americans spent over $33 billion on weight loss, and 45 million of us reported being on a diet that year. That fills Memorial Stadium 526 times with dieters. How sad. Many times, new clients come to me frustrated and confused by conflicting diet plans. I've tried it all, they say, and nothing works. I totally get it. Many of the diets directly contradict each other. Plant-based diets say no meat, while keto says the more meat the better. High fat is fine for keto, but then that makes the low fat followers want to scream. Weight Watchers says that you can have any food in moderation as long as you stay under points. But does that mean I can eat 19 pieces of toast with jelly beans on the side? As long as it's under my points, it's still okay? I don't know, that seems kind of weird. Maybe we should just all follow paleo and eat like the cavemen did. Or better yet, let's just skip food altogether and call it intermittent fasting. Does healthy eating really have to be so complicated? Don't we, as intelligent human beings, instinctively know what types of food are best for our bodies? Can we at least agree that fruits and vegetables and whole grains bless the body and keep our blood sugars nice and stable, while fast food and processed junk do just the opposite? Did you know that an Oreo cookie study was done in 2013? I am relatively annoyed that no one asked me to participate, but anyway, the research showed that Oreos activate the area of the brain that's responsible for pleasure and addiction, actually more than cocaine and morphine. So here's what it looks like on a functional MRI scan. Apparently, I just can't get away from my radiology roots. But check it out. Okay, so the brain lights up like a Christmas tree in response to sugar. It's the exact same response as with cocaine. How shocking. So when we call it a sugar high, that's exactly what it is. Different drug, but same result. And once we get hooked on the high of overly processed foods, it's difficult to break free. After all, the more junk we eat, the more junk we crave. And have you ever looked at the ingredients on a simple bag of Doritos? It's like maltodextrin, sodium acetate, yellow number 5. Like seriously? That is more like a chemistry class or the ingredient list from a Windex bottle than food. The reality is the body is totally unable to use these fake ingredients, and so the body is always hungry. It's desperately searching for nutrients instead of junk. So I thought it would be fun to compare some of the most fattening, calorie-dense foods with some of their healthier counterparts. Okay, first up is the Johnny Rockets Bacon Cheddar Double Burger. So that little baby will set you back 3,500 calories and it has 88 grams of saturated fat. Well, since we're trying to do better, we're gonna skip the fries, but we gotta wash it down with something, right? Enter the Sonic Pineapple Upside Down Master Blast Shake. My goodness. The names of these foods, it's a mouthful in more ways than one. So this fruit-filled wonder contains 2,020 calories, 61 grams of fat, and 29 teaspoons of sugar. And I bet it would take most people less than 20 minutes to suck down over 5,500 calories and almost 150 grams of fat. For reference, that's the recommended calorie intake for 3 entire days and all in one meal. So now let's compare this drive-through disaster to 5,500 calories of healthy food. So you could eat 9 entire cantaloupes, 10 bananas, 16 apples, and 20 heads of lettuce for the same number of calories and a fraction of the fat. Plus your 37 trillion cells, you know they would be doing the happy dance from the nutrition overload. Now, I get it. Obviously, no one is going to sit down to a nice meal of 20 heads of lettuce, but I just wanted to demonstrate that it's not about deprivation or eating those teeny tiny little portions. It's all about fueling your body to live a happy and healthy and energetic life. Some of you have heard the story of my little 10-year-old self reading the back of a Slim Fast can in Walmart. And I hate to guess the number of crazy diets I've been on over the years. So the turning point for me was when I started to eat a whole foods, mostly plant-based diet, and that was back in 2018. Now, to be honest, when you heard me say plant-based diet, you instinctively wanted a burger, am I right? And you guys, I totally get it. So we are Nebraskans who like our meat. And did you know that during the 1950s and 60s, our license plates even carried the nickname the beef state? Well, when I first learned about plant-based diets, I felt the same thing. I basically made a joke, kind of turned up my nose, and said I can never eat that way, even though I was a health coach at the time. But I was also a child of the 80s. I ate Hostess cupcakes for breakfast, and hot dogs and Doritos and I don't know, maybe some RC Cola for lunch. Plus, I thought, I'm not overweight, my labs are always fine, so I don't want to be weird and just eat plants. Well, since then, I have discovered the beauty and, dare I say, magic of plant-based diets. So I watched a few documentaries on the subject and kind of learned the science behind everything, kind of the why, and it totally made sense. I thought if using food as medicine could heal some of the sickest among us, then what could it do for me? So I dove into this new style of eating, and I was pleasantly surprised by all of the great food. Come to find out, eating plant-based is way more than like eating cold salads and celery and sprouts. After a couple weeks, I started to notice this strange feeling like welling up in me. Was it digestion? Was it gas? A hiatal hernia? No, friends, it was pride. Suddenly, I was this responsible adult who was finally in control of food instead of food controlling me. It was satisfying to make this beautiful, colorful, nutritious food. And I could, picture my 37 trillion cells doing the happy dance. Like, yes, she's finally feeding us stuff we can use. I could have delicious plant-based chili, nachos, pasta, stir fry, and it's all legal and it tastes amazing. So no more counting calories or carbs or points. It feels like balancing a checkbook every day of my life anyway. So you will be happy to know that you don't have to be perfect when following a plant-based diet because it is a lifestyle, not a quick fix and not a crash diet. So I use the 90-10 rule that Dr. Joel Fuhrman refers to in his book, Eat to Live. So this means that you eat healthy, whole, plant-based foods 90% of the time, and then you can splurge the other 10%. And that basically works out to about 2 meals per week. So if you go out with friends or go over to your parents' house for Sunday lunch, then eat the cake or order the appetizer. Because, guys, it's a special occasion and we want to enjoy the special occasions in our life. However, when you are alone in your kitchen at 9:30 at night, that is never a special occasion, okay? So step away from the brownies. If you'd like to find out more, check out the book Eat to Live, or just look up plant-based eating on the internet. I also use an app called the Forks Meal Planner for all of my recipes, and it is truly a lifesaver. It is a beautiful thing to dump weight, to sleep great, have mental clarity, and energy for days. And you guys, it happens so fast. I like to call it the 3-day difference. I know that if in the beginning, if I can just push through and be strong for the first few days of cravings and sluggishness, By day 3, I feel like $1,000,000. So I love that with this style of eating, I'm chasing like the feeling I get from healthy food instead of a stupid number on the scale. Now, if all of my plant-based enthusiasm is making you nauseous, then stop. Take a deep breath and just start out slow. So add in a couple fruits and vegetables every day. Or what if you committed to eating super healthy just while you're at work? I mean, we're working. We're not really on vacation anyway, so we might as well start by creating a slimmer, healthier body while we're at it, right? It's difficult to make people understand how life-changing the plan is. I think everyone deserves to experience how the mind and the body are meant to function when they are properly nourished. Plus, I love that I'm doing my part to ward off a host of diseases for the future. So when my plant-based eating is on point, I just feel like everything else in my life seems to fall into place, and I know that I'm living my best life. It's kind of crazy, and it seems too simple to be true, but all you gotta do is eat the food. So I want to leave you with a quote that's kind of weird, but it kind of speaks to me for some reason. Here it is. Someone once told me their definition of hell. On your last day on earth, the person you became meets the person you could have become. Oh, forget that Rachel Hollis quote. That one truly guts me. Can you imagine that? Like, I'm picturing the 90-year-old version of me who never made the decision to live her best life. I'm sitting in my wheelchair, probably counting my meds, still craving cookies, and hating my thighs. What if she could meet her alter ego, the best version of herself and the person that she could have became? You know the one, the 90-year-old who decades earlier made the decision to go plant-based and never looked back. So this spunky little lady, well, she just bebops her way through life. She's full of energy, vitality, and good health. Still telling jokes, enjoying life, loving her people, and really making a difference. What would the one say to the other? I think the feeling of regret would hang heavy in the air. The realization that she never made the decision. She never did the hard work, and that starting tomorrow, well, that's just a cruel joke. Forfeiting good health and a quality life, that's a pretty heavy price to pay for Oreos and pizza. And I have may just gotten a tad dramatic with you, but please remember that tomorrow is not promised. And we have this one life to live, so I just hope that we all live it right. And last but not least, victory lies within the very next choice you make. So make a good one. And I hope you have a great week.